What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. Now, on Facebook, I don't know how I got into the church sector, but I did a video about Juanita Bynum and then also that one guy in New York. What was his name, y'all? You know, the Bishop Whitehead, the one that be scamming and he got a whole bunch of fraud and he might be going to prison. Yeah, that one. So I got into like this whole church sector thing. So there's a few news stories that I wanted to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Now, before we start, I do want to let you guys know that I use a lot of satire. This is complete comedy. This is just my commentary. So please don't be offended. But if you are offended, you're probably one of them people that get offended off of anything. So I don't mind. Here we go. So I watched the Kirk Franklin story. It's called Father's Day on YouTube. It was a very good documentary. And I'll be honest, I didn't know too much about Kirk Franklin except, his music, Stomp! That song. That's the only song I know. And that's it. Don't ask me no other song by Kirk Franklin, okay? But anyway, so I know that song. And so I know him for his music. I know that he does gospel. Boom. But I did not know that he was adopted. So Kirk Franklin actually was adopted when he was a kid. His mother was rarely in his life. He actually knew who his mom was, but she basically gave him away. He lived with a woman named Gertrude. Gertrude took care of him, nurtured him, and was his mother, basically. Now, in this documentary, he actually finds his real dad, his biological father. Now, years ago, back in 2017, he actually buried the man that he thought was his father. And his father, quote unquote, the man name is Dwight. He actually died thinking that, wow, I was not there for my son. I did not take care of my son. And knowing that Kirk had this anger, this hatred for him, and that was not even his son. Like, just going through that emotion, I can't even imagine how that feels. Like, thank God I have my father in my life, because I don't know where I would be, or I believe that a boy, and I just don't want to say just a boy, I believe a boy, a girl, or whoever needs the love of both parents, a mother and father. So I cannot imagine not having both in my life. One of Kirk Franklin's friends had told him that there's this guy saying that he might be his father. He had relations with his mother, Deborah. Deborah is his biological mom. Now, the mom immediately called Kirk Franklin and was all like, the rumor's not true. I know you heard about this, but I wouldn't lie to you. So what Rick did was actually give him DNA samples so they could go ahead and do a DNA test. The test results come back and he finds out that Rick is his father. Mind you, Rick has lived in the neighborhood where Carry On used to play across the street at another house. So this man has been around. This is not someone distant in another town or anything like that. That man was literally right under his nose. And Rick did not know that Kirk Franklin was his father the whole time. I mean, it's crazy. I'm telling you guys, you have to watch this. It was so good, so impactful, and an emotional story. And usually I don't get emotional, but it even made me emotional. It was a roller coaster of emotions. And I do want to say that I am happy that Kirk Franklin found his biological father. Now, I want to get into Miss Deborah, his actual mother. That lady is a horrible woman. I don't care what anybody says, she is horrible. She, even after the DNA test, she is still denying that was Kirk Franklin's father. She said it's impossible. That's not true. Mind you, they did the test twice, and both times came out that he was 99% the father. So there was no other way possible that was not Kirk Franklin's dad. Now, Kirk was all like, I need an apology. Like, I need you to admit and accept these results. And she said she could not do it. And at that time, he said he did not want a relationship with his mother. But let me tell you guys something. He had not talked to his mom in 23 years, so they already had a strained relationship, but now he's at the point where he wants nothing to do with her. I definitely respect his decision, because I don't know what I would do if my mom had been lying to me for so many years and still won't take accountability. So Kirk Franklin felt like he did what was best for him. Something else that I didn't mention earlier was that he does end up contacting Carry On, his son. They have had a wild relationship, especially when that voice recording was leaked with that phone call where Kirk Franklin was going off. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Luckily, it does seem like they're on the mend, and it does say in the documentary that they still keep in communication. Moving on to the next story. Larry Reid had mentioned about Leandria Johnson getting baptized again, right? So all I know about that lady is that she liked her liquor. I don't know if she liked the dark liquor or the clear liquor, but she liked her liquor. So I guess she was getting baptized again, and Darius Cook had left this comment. Darius said they couldn't find no other vessel. Larry Reid replied, to their defense, it's pretty standard for small churches who can't drop 100K install. Then Leandria said, Darius Cooks, really ninja? You in hot water, not me. How about we talk face to face? Woo! Oh man. So this kind of brings me to my next point. I feel that church has become such a business, a big business, and we see all these extravagant churches that we forget not a lot of churches are like that. The majority of churches are very small, very humble. They don't have this extravagant amount of money to spend on pyro and lights and monitors and stuff like that. And so more than likely, they probably didn't have like a whole pool setup and stuff like that for baptism. Now, I do want to say that it did look like, you know, one of them pots that they use in Louisiana for a crab boil. It did look like they needed to dunk her in there with some onions, lemons, crawfish, shrimp. It did look like a crab boil. However, like I said, we're so used to seeing like these extravagant churches that we forget not everybody has that kind of money to spend. So they use what they have, which is, granted, the small little tub or crab boil that they use to dunk her in. Now, I'll say what I was more looking at was that I noticed that her robe was see-through after she got dunked in it, and you could see her bra. And I was all like, aren't you supposed to wear like some regular clothes and stuff? I don't know. I haven't been baptized, y'all. I'm just talking shit, you know. Prophet Cody Spivey had an event a few weeks ago where he was bringing in people for his conference. He had 5 different dates, and Juanita Bynum was supposed to be a speaker at one of these dates. I believe it was September 15th. Well, what ended up happening was that she did not show up. This is when Cody ended up going live and blasting everything. And trust me, he was serious about his money and he wanted his money back. So what happened was that he booked Juanita Bynum. He sent her 15K and he had his partner send another 15K, total of 30,000, booked her 3 rooms, got her first class flights for her and her team. She got to the airport and he said that he was ignored. She didn't want to talk to him. It was something about like if she wanted to prophesize over him, she didn't want to meet him first and she wanted the interaction to be organic. However, he said he talked to her on the phone, so he didn't know why that even made a difference at the time. Now, I do want to state that, you know, he let that slide, he let that go, and she ended up going to the hotel, whatever, right? Now, this is where it gets tricky. So she has a writer, right? As you guys know, it's the list of demands that artists have for when they perform. And so this was specifically for the sound. Now, the event or venue that they were holding this at is just a regular church. It's not one of them big stadiums or, you know, some kind of extravagant church. Again, we're talking about these elaborate churches with all this different sound system and monitors. That's not what this was. It was up to code according to the standards of what was met. Now, I do want to say this. They ended up dropping out of the event because they said that the sound was not up to par. Now, like I said, Cody went live and blasted all this. He said he wanted his money back, his 15K that he had spent, and he was going to do everything that he can to get that back. So what he did, besides just going live, he actually contacted 2 YouTubers, Thais Report and King Jives. Both of them had phone calls with him. I know King Jives actually played his phone calls with him, and then Thais did not. But he reached out to both content creators to try to, you know, rally up the troops and get his money back. Definitely respect it, right? Now, he was going off talking about how, you know, the day that she canceled, mind you, that was his birthday. September 15th was his birthday. The day that she canceled, he ended up going to the hotel and was all like, you need to take my credit card off of the account because I am not paying for nothing. He said that he almost tore up that whole hotel lobby because he was so angry because Juanita did not show up. So finally, they had somebody come downstairs and they put their credit card on file. And so, you know, he was able to erase that charge off his credit card and stuff like that. But he was upset because they did not refund him the 15K that he spent. Now, he said that he wasn't going to talk about the other 15K for the friend. He didn't allude to them he alluded to them getting their money back, but he said he didn't want to speak on it. However, he comes live a few days later, and I'm going to go ahead and play that live for you because he did get a chance to speak to Juanita Bynum.
What I would like to say is, I had a conversation with Dr. Bynum today, and Dr. Bynum set everything straight. Glory to God. And what I found out is that everything that transpired the other day, September 15th, my birthday, was not directly the fault of Dr. Bynum, but some of her staff members. Dr. Bynum called me personally this morning and took responsibility for the actions of her team, and I have apologized for the live and for a few comments that I made upon the live. Dr. Bynum today has truly proven to be one integral woman. We prayed together and we found a resolution to solve the problem. Dr. Bynum paid me all of my money back in full. Glory to God. She paid everything back in full. She showed herself to be integral. Not only did she pay all of the money back in full, but we are also in the midst of rescheduling a date. Hallelujah. We are rescheduling a date for her to come and minister for me on her own dime. In other words, she is going to come and preach for me. She's going to pay for her own hotel room, her own flights, and everything. And she also said when she comes, she will not be taking an honorarium. And so I just wanted to come up here and let everybody know that Dr. Bynum upheld integrity. She showed me some integrity today. And so you guys, I wanted to tell you guys that when it comes to ministry, I never want it to be in a spot where there is confusion among saints, because saints of God, listen, I know in my heart that we are truly living in the last and evil days, and that the Son of Man is getting ready to return. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that as of today, Dr. Bynum has set everything straight, made everything straight. We had a one-on-one heart conversation. We prayed with each other, and we both got it right. We repented to each other for everything that's went on. And so I had to get up here, just like I got up here and I talked about it. I had to come up here and I had to make it publicly known that Dr. Bynum showed so much integrity today. She apologized to me on behalf of her team, on behalf of her staff. She repented to me, and she also made it right. And so I just thank God for the life and the ministry of Dr. Bynum. And I want to let you guys know that we are rescheduling a date for her to come and minister for me, either before the end of this year is out or early next year. And so that's the only thing I came up here to say, is that she proved herself to be integral today. And I thank God for the life of Dr. Bynum. I think Kiwi, you is hilarious, Key. I thank God for the life of Dr. Bynum. And I thank God for Mr. Christopher, who was the mediator.
Now, for me, this seemed like a whole PR move. I think she knew that the story was going to pick up steam, and she already doesn't have the best reputation. I mean, it was just a few months ago she was talking about people listening to secular music and then they want to go to church. However, she was dancing to Mary J. Blige. And then we can't forget about the infamous panty situation. You know, there was somebody who went in her room and she had her underwear laid out on the bed. I don't know why they were laid out. That's here nor there, right? But there's many other examples of how Juanita Bynum do people wrong and take their money and don't pay them back and stuff like that. But this is one situation she wanted to go ahead and clear it and clean it up. Now, what she said was that this was a part of her team. Her team or an employee was the fault of this going wrong. It was a miscommunication. Now, Cody did accept this answer. You know, as you see in the video, she's going to do a free event and put on something for him and, you know, organize this for next year. Now, will this event that she's putting together go down? Nah. Y'all, I'm not thinking it's going to happen. I think she just wanted to go ahead and clear this and go about her day. She did give him back his money, which was the important thing. But I think her doing a free event, nah. Juanita Bynum ain't doing no charity work. So, of course, after, you know, Cody went live, everybody else started talking about it. And it seemed that Cody was trying to then do damage control, because he went to King Jive's channel and he went to Thais's channel trying to basically smooth things over and talk about, you know, God want us to forgive her and all this other stuff. And he tried to church them basically. And what I mean by that is just throw out a couple of scriptures, start praying, but he wasn't on that kind of energy initially. I mean, when you see his first live, which he deleted, he was going off. You cannot tell me that this man that's praying on everybody's show or panel is the same man that was going off about to tear up that hotel lobby. Two different people. And trust me, I get it. People get angry, people get upset, but the way he was talking, I know they offered him a little more than just his money back. I think basically he was probably scared for his own reputation, and he was worried like, man, I'm probably going to stifle my own growth because I went out and blasted her. And so I feel like for him, he probably thought he needed to smooth the situation over as well, because it wasn't a good look for him going forward. A lot of these people in the church have a lot of power and they have a lot of connections. So Juanita possibly, and I don't know this for a fact, she could have made a call and been like, hey, don't work with him. You see how he did me, blah, blah, blah. And the same for her. So I see this as a PR move on both parts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm just giving you guys my commentary. Don't take it to heart. Let me know what you think about Kirk Franklin and his mom, because I don't know why she still is trying to lie. Some people are speculating that it probably was taboo, that something happened between her and Kirk Franklin's biological father. So that could be a situation or a reasoning behind it. But let me know what you guys think, as well as the whole Darius Cooks and Leandria situation. That's just weird. I think Larry Reid instigated it like he always do. And the whole Prophet Cody and Juanita Bynum situation. What you guys think about that? Deuces, everybody. We out.